It could have been a tough loss that they would not forget. But suddenly, from over the ridge to the rear of the castle, they heard a stamping and a bellowing of cows. "The cows! The cows!" cried the castle defenders. Could have been, that's the verb to be with a helping verb and a modal helper. Could have been, it could have been, subject, linking verb, loss. This is a predicate noun with a couple of modifiers. That they would not forget, that's a clause. The word that is troubling in clauses because it could be a subordinate conjunction or it could be a relative pronoun. You need to see what it's doing in the clause before you can identify it. So let me just look at the verb here. Would, modal helper, forget, to forget. That's an action verb. This is a little adverbial trigger turning on and off that forgetfulness. They would not forget. They is the subject. They would not forget what? This, right here. Direct object. Since that's functioning as a pronoun, as a direct object, this is a relative clause. The entire clause is adjectival. Locking together, it modifies loss, giving it more description. But suddenly, from over the ridge to the rear of the castle, from over the ridge, I think this is a double preposition working. It's not from the ridge, it's not over the ridge, it's from over the ridge. So both of these work together to be the preposition. Here's the object of the preposition. To the rear, prepositional phrase modifying ridge, where the ridge is, of the castle. This is modifying rear. But suddenly, they heard a stamping. Suddenly jumps right across and describes the verb. They heard suddenly. But a coordinating conjunction that stands at the beginning of this sentence and gives some logical connection between this sentence and the one that comes before. I understand Mrs. Williams said do not start sentences with the conjunctions and or but. But she was wrong. You can do that. It's a choice. The entire prepositional phrase group here, I think, is probably also adverbial, modifying heard. Action verb, to hear. They are hearing. Here's your subject. They heard what? Stamping and bellowing. Two direct objects with a coordinating conjunction, both modified. These are specialized words here. These are verbals acting as nouns. They're gerunds. Bellowing of cows. Now, of cows is an interesting prepositional phrase. It's pretty clearly modifying bellowing of cows. The question is, do you think it has modification power over stamping? They heard a stamping of cows and a bellowing of cows? Or do you think they couldn't tell what the stamping was until they heard the bellowing? Therefore, you will restrict the modification of cows simply to bellowing? It depends on how you read the sentence. Your choice. It's getting a bit crowded here. "The cows, the cows!" cried the castle defenders. Little piece of dialogue. Dialogue's always fun to work with. It's an action verb. And the important part of this sentence is to try to identify the subject. Who or what cried? Well, that's the defenders that cried. Castle defenders, the defenders. Put this in normal order, subject verb. The castle defenders cried what or whom? What they cried was the cows, the cows. This locks together as some sort of funky noun phrase and functions as the direct object of cried. What did they cry? The cows, the cows. Direct object.